Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, we have some Carnival fans wondering, hey, wait a minute, are they going back to the old muster drill because of something they've seen recently? We also have some early Christmas presents for some Royal Caribbean, in particular 2 cruise ships with Royal Caribbean are kind of getting an early Christmas present. We have some limitations that have been announced and they are going to be official now in Nice, Cannes, and Villefranche, and I'll tell you all about that and what the limitations are, what that might mean for your cruise if you're sailing to one of these destinations between now and 2026 October. We also have a big, huge milestone for Viking Cruise Line, and finally NCL is doing away with something on their cruise ship. I don't think too many people are upset about it. So first off, a few people have been wondering if the Carnival Cruise Line is going back to the old muster drill where everyone had to show up. Sometimes you'd line up outside the ship, sometimes you're in the theater, sometimes you're in a bar. It all depends on where your muster station is. You'd have to bring your life jacket down and then you'd have to listen to the sound, the captains, as they explain how to put on a life jacket, etc. Now the new one, since COVID has been introduced back in 2020, the new one is basically you watch something on an app or TV and then you go down and check in at your muster station, and that's pretty much it. It's very fast, it's very simple, should be easy to do, but Carnival is doing a regular muster drill, the old one, on the Carnival Sunshine tomorrow on the 18th. Now don't worry, it's a one-time thing. Most of the cruise lines are being done. I've been on a Princess ship, we had to do it. I've been on a Royal Caribbean ship, we had to do it. Every once in a while, the Customs and Coast Guards demand that they do an older fashioned muster drill. So it's only for that one. So if you're on the Carnival Sunshine, you won the lottery. You're the ones who have to do the muster drill the old way coming up tomorrow. Just smile and then enjoy your cruise. Next, let's talk about the early Christmas present that's coming for a few cruisers. Most of them they're going to be on Utopia of the Seas or the Radiance of the Seas because they have a stop where the Royal Beach Club is going to be in Nassau, where they're building the new area on the island, and they were supposed to open on the 27th. They're going to open 4 days early. They're going to be ready to open on the 23rd of December, right before Christmas. And on that grand opening day, the Utopia and the Radiance will be there and be able to enjoy the Royal Beach Club, be the first cruisers in there to enjoy the private area. And so, yeah, it's open in time for Christmas. I imagine they'll have the whole island decorated, etc. Should be a very fun place to hang out, especially at that time of year. I hope everybody enjoys it, and I hope if you're on the Utopia Radiance, that's a good news thing for you guys. Next, let's talk about, remember when the mayor of Nice showed up at the ship demanding that the captain of the ship come out, and he demanded to get on the ship and telling him, you shouldn't be here, there's limits, you have to get out of here, you should leave, and etc. And he had a film crew with him on the boat and everything, and the captain basically said, yeah, go away now. Basically told him to go away because the mayor of Nice had no authority to do anything, and he should know the laws as well as anybody. They are not allowed to let some random guy in a boat jump on a cruise ship. You have to go through security, you have to go through customs. You can't just get on a cruise ship by bringing a boat out and just saying you want to get on the cruise ship. But the restrictions did come in now. They've talked it over, the authorities have come in, the actual proper people who are making these decisions, not the mayor of Nice, has come up with the agreement, and they have now limited in those areas. The cruise ships that are docked are allowed to dock, but if you are not docked and you are sending tenders back and forth, you can have a maximum of 1,300 passengers per day per port, so per dock. And those are only for the ones that are docked. Now, those are where most of the larger ships would go anyway. The smaller ships that would hold like 650, 700 passengers would dock in town. So that's a big limit. They're also saying they're limiting it to roughly 2,500 passengers. And that is limited to, I believe that's, only allowed these ships in every 2 days kind of thing. The larger ships, they've limited to like the 15 ships per month. And that'll all take into effect starting gradually over 2026. And they say if a cruise ship right now has already had an agreement to come into port on any of the days, they've signed an agreement, etc., because you can book, cruise lines have to book these destinations years in advance, so they are sure that they have a docking space. And if they've done that, they're allowed to come in no matter what size the ship is or how crowded they are. They're allowed to do it. Now, there is some emission standards in there. For instance, if they have a high polluting day, they're able to cancel the cruise lines if they say there's too much pollution in the port. Or the harbor master also now has the authority to go out and tell the cruise line that they have to change to the more environmentally friendly fuel, not the dirtier fuel, when they're, the ones that is cheaper and saves money. Or they have to go a certain distance away from the towns. There's a whole other aspect to it, but it's at least being built in gradually, and the cruise ships that are already booked are being grandfathered in, so that's some good news. Next, let's talk about a big milestone for Viking Cruise Line, both the ocean and the river cruise. If you combine them all, they are now announcing with their new 2 ships that are about to have the naming ceremony for, the Honir and the Toth. Well, or the Thoth, T-H-O-T-H, Thoth? I don't know. But they are going to be hitting the 100 cruise ship mark, which is, very, very huge for any company to grow to that size, whether it be river cruising or ocean cruising or combined, doesn't matter. 100 ships is a big, big milestone, and they're pretty excited about it. Congratulations, Viking Cruise Line, on your 2 brand new ships coming into service. And finally, Norwegian is making another change. That's right, another change. But this time I don't think it's going to upset people like the, drink package not being on the private island, the extra charge for extra entrees in main dining, the charge for room service changes, etc. At least this one is their freestyle. Paper, what's going on today kind of thing. Their freestyle, this is what our show is going to be today. This is where we're going to have a lecture. This is going to be a game show. This is when bingo is. And you can check out the planner for the day. Well, that paper one is stopped. As of the 13th, it should be stopped on most of the Norwegian cruise ships. And the only way to get that information now will be through the app or on the TV in your stateroom, or, so that's a big change for some people who aren't really tech savvy. But don't worry, if you really, really want a paper version, you can go down to guest services and you can request it. But if you don't request it, you're going to be relying on everything on the app or on the TV, and they say that this is to give people faster access to updated information, etc. Okay, it's also to save money, which I can see because they're saving all this printing and all this paper, and it's a cost-saving thing, and it's probably an okay one, right? I don't think too many people anymore are too upset that you don't get the paper, but I do know some people who get that paper version and they take a pen out and they circle what they want to do that day and they carry it around with them. A lot of people do not want to be checking their phones and do not want to have to do stuff like that. They'd rather have that paper one with them, but it's something we're going to have to get used to because more and more cruise lines are going to that kind of system. And it is a cost saving, and it's also cutting back on paper waste. So you can kind of see why they would do it. It's 2 different benefits in one. Well, let me know in the comments down below. Would you like to be on the Utopia or the Radiance and be the first people to be able to go into the Royal Beach Club. That's pretty exciting news. It's only 4 days early, but hey, 4 days is 4 days. It's just in time for Christmas. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.